This is a letter from Scarlett, describing the morning that set her world on fire when her 6-year-old son Jesse was killed as he charged the gunman at Sandy Hook Elementary. And this is the foundation that she started in his honor, focused on social and emotional learning. With each kid who discovers the power of choosing love over fear, another wildflower rises from the ashes of Scarlett's loss. This is a letter from Kim, who wrote about her teenage years as a homeless street kid. Her childhood was incinerated in a firestorm of violence and rape and drug addiction. And this is her homeless shelter for kids that gets teenagers like she used to be off the street. With each kid she clothes or feeds or helps find their own beauty and their own truth, another wildflower rises from the ashes of her childhood. Now, Kim and Scarlett's post-traumatic darkness and disorders are very real. But there can be something else post-traumatic too, and these letters are proof. So why do I have them? I didn't know the real reason until late one afternoon when I was in the ocean, and it hit me like a lightning bolt. And I paddled in as fast as I could and ran up the stairs and into the house and onto the couch where I could reach this box perched up on a shelf. And I took the box down and over to the kitchen table, and I opened it, and I closed my eyes, and I remembered. And I'm younger. I'm working an entry-level, monotonous job when I wake up in this tiny loft apartment to Springsteen singing from my clock radio about being trapped. His gravelly voice is promising that someday he's going to walk out of here again, and see beyond these walls in front of him. And I got walls in front of me, too. They're the walls of chaos of the city. They're the concrete walls around my soulless job, walls around my heart. But as he sings, I can see beyond those walls where a dream waits. And it's a dream of a dog at my side while I write songs that speak to this quiet beauty that sometimes I feel like I'm the only one that can see. And of course, clearly this guy and I are on the same page. So maybe Springsteen on speed dial someday. We had speed dial back then. I quit my job that morning, and 2 weeks later, I'm driving across I-80, stopping only in my aunt's garage, where a tiny black Labrador tumbles over herself and into my lap, and I'm in love. Her name is Kona. That's what I name her. I put her in the front seat this day, and we take off for Seattle, where I find a temp job and record and write those songs, only to sell a few CDs. And I make posters announcing gigs to have a few people show up. I go on the road and I take Kona with me, and I sneak her into these dimly lit clubs at night and out of the dingy hotels the next morning, and we talk about what I'm scared of and the little victories. I do most of the talking, and she does a lot of this. But she listens without judgment and ends most of the conversations with a search for something to play with to remind me of the more important things. And I stay alone. I tell myself that because I think I need to write, but really I'm writing because I'm alone. Alone except for her. So, 14 years like this come and they go. And I am in the cold white lights of a veterinarian's office when I hear this voice telling me that she's gonna die. She's got cancer and her bones are disintegrating. And I hold back all the way home, and I get up the stairs, I lift her onto my bed, and I don't stop crying until I fall asleep next to her. And even then, I don't really stop. A few months after Kona died, a fan named Emily shared with me a letter that she had written her soulmate, and he had passed away. And our losses didn't seem that different. We just called them by different names. So I wrote a song for Emily with a friend about how a letter is like a prayer and that it's more for the sender. That song became this sign of life, this wildflower rising from the ashes of my loss and hers. And it inspired me to write more songs for her. So that one wildflower became 2 and became 3, and word got around about what I was doing, and more letters started showing up almost on the wind, like from Kim and Scarlett. And their own wildflowers and their stories inspired me to write songs for them. And I even traveled around the country surprising them with their songs. I went to California, and then we flew across to Connecticut and played for Emily in an airport hotel room there. And then to New York, where Scarlett told me that hearing her songs made her feel like she could finally move on and heal in a way where she could give the best parts of herself to her older son and her foundation. So now, these patches of wildflowers were starting to show up all around me, and I wanted to keep them spreading. So I produced these shows featuring the songs and the letters and donated the proceeds to causes chosen by the letter senders, like the foundation and Kim's shelter. And we were able to pay for this surf camp for veterans and help out a therapeutic horse ranch, and this incredible organization that rescues dogs from shelters and trains them to be psychiatric service dogs for our veterans. And so now, these wildflowers were starting to show up all around me, this beauty of people helping each other that I was somehow a part of now because of these songs. And it was like a field of wildflowers as far as I could see. But here's what hit me that late afternoon when I was out in the ocean and I ran into the house. I was dripping salt water all over the table, and the box was open, and I pulled out this bag of ashes and this tuft of hair and a letter, which starts with, "Dear Kona, thank you for being with me for so long." And 3 pages later, it ends with, "You've been a part of me for so long that I don't know what I was like before you. I suppose that's the closing of a chapter. Thank you for being here. I love you, Alex." So this is the day that Kona died. And that photo I'm holding is the day I told you about when I got her. And when I was sitting there at the table, dripping salt water all over the place, an older song of mine drifted in off the ocean, a song that foreshadowed this moment that I was in right now. Well, he sits down at the table, and she been gone about a year. He says the cancer took her sudden, but her spirit keeps her near, right here. So now I knew why I was connected to writing these songs about letters, right? I had my own ashes and my own letter and my own song. And now this field of wildflowers. And there's a couple of you crying out there. I can hear it. But I don't think you're crying because you knew my dog, right? You're crying because you or somebody you know has a loss that looks like this. I call mine Kona. You might call yours a partner or a parent or a job or a dream. They're all the same ashes, just from different fires. But waiting to rise up there from those ashes is a small sign of life that you can create in small moments. It's a wildflower that you can watch spread into a beauty that the world needs right now. And that wildflower is your story. It's an act of kindness. It's an act of forgiveness. It's a poem. It's a painting. It's a new start. Maybe it's a song. Thank you.